What's up, YouTube? It is your boy Sanchez405 coming at you on the warpath with Amir from Hail to the Redskins 559. You need to check him out. If you Google it, man's got some great content on there. I read your preview of a 13-3 season, so we've got one more to spare so far, and but no, we're gonna have a good time here. I appreciate you reaching out to me, and as you all know, I'm all about Redskin fans reaching out, just like Amir reached out to B Militant a couple weeks ago, and he reached out to me as well. So we're going to sit here, and he's going to put your boy on the spot, and I hope not to disappoint here. So I'm going to lead it off to you, Amir.
All right, well, thank you, Sanchez. Yeah, I am Amir from Hail to the Redskins 559. Thank you very much for that introduction, sir. Definitely appreciate you doing this interview. It's definitely appreciated.
Hey, I appreciate you reaching out to me. So I'm always excited. I was excited when I got the email, and I'm still just as excited as I was then. So
awesome. Yeah, thanks for reading my season preview. And actually, almost called that Ravens game perfectly.
Yeah,
I
you
had
did.
a prediction score of 17-10. So
yeah.
If Hop had made that extra point, I've been like,
you would, yeah, sure thing, yeah. But. That man, I hate to see his perfect season go away though. He was doing so good, but the win got the best of him.
The one is crazy. I don't know if you've ever been up to Baltimore before. My family's from DC area, so I've gone back there and everything. And it gets windy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It's as windy as Chicago is. It's really crazy.
Whew.
So let's jump right into this here. So how long have you been a Redskins fan?
I have been a Redskins fan since I'll say since birth. My family has been. We are from Stafford in Prince William County, which is about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Washington D.C., south of Washington D.C. My mom was a Redskins fan. Her father was a Redskins fan, and that's where we were bred into it. From a little boy, I always remember watching them. I really started to remember it probably 97. I remember a couple of games against Detroit and Chicago where the team won. And it was like the last one against Dallas before 2002 when they won again. 98 is when I really remember it. Started out 0-7 in North Turner's term there, and they came back and actually that year they won their first game ever in Oakland. So that's how long I've been a Redskins fan.
Right on.
Yeah. But that, I mean, as long as I can remember, just grew up hating Dallas and rooting for the Skins.
Definitely understand being bred into it. I was too.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's all good. Imagine growing up in California where all these 49ers and these Raiders fans are, and
that's awful. Oh,
now I see all these Rams fans all of a sudden, and I'm just like,
where'd you guys come from? You came out from under a rock, I guess.
Like, did you hear the conch shell or something? I mean, what was it? What was it? I mean,
I can't really
get them out.
Yeah, I can't get mad at them. I'm a Washington Nationals fan, and when baseball came back to DC, I finally hopped on the baseball train. So I really can't.
How are the Nats playing right now? They're
playing right now, but the Skins are my first love, so I can stand, and they'll probably do better without me watching them. I was actually, I was actually in a bar here on Wednesday after work, and they were down, and right as I was walking out, they hit a single, and then they tied the game up at 5. But then when I turned the game back on in the bottom of the 8th, LA went up and hit that, and they scored that run and won 6-5. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't watch this game. I said just get the curse off of me, but
I feel the same. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan.
okay.
I was a fan before the first World Series in 2010, and I was in heartbreak the other night.
Y'all been spoiled enough.
We've been spoiled, yeah. But give up 4 runs in the top of the ninth. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So what got you into YouTube? YouTubing and everything.
You know what? Friends did. They always told me, like, people would tell me, you know, why don't you talk about where do you need a forum to talk about the skins? I guess a lot of people, my knowledge is like somewhat stupid to people sometimes. Like they're like, how do you remember that? You can recall a game from like 2003, but you can't remember what 2 + 2 is. And I always like I just love talking about the Redskins. Anybody that come in contact with, whether I'm out or if I see them with a shirt on or they see me with my hat on or something, they're like, hey, let's talk about it. And I'll sit there and talk to them. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should do this YouTube channel. And I couldn't think of a name to save my life. And I said, I like to rant. And you've seen that before. Everybody knows I do like to rant. So I was like, On the Warpath, just like the song. And, just like the fight song, I was like, On the Warpath. And that's where it came about. I just really started this back in early March. And it's been great. I mean, when I say it, I always tell people I love them. And I do. I love the support that folks have given me. Even the criticism. I love that too. Because that just makes me better. And that makes me want to present a better product to people.
We're all criticism.
Yeah.
Fuel the fire.
Yes, fuel the fire. It's like I always say, pressure, it busts the pipes. That's all, and that's in defense, in life, whatever. RG3 had the saying, "No pressure, no diamonds," and I guess for him, no sense, no wins. But I'm not touching that subject anymore. I tell people all the time.
That brings me to my first question.
Yeah, but that's what really got me into it. I just wanted to talk about it and talk about the skins. I like doing the live feeds every Sunday. I look forward to that, just talking to different people. And, I mean, people see a 3-hour video, they came back. Yeah, B-Mill came on, and he said, I just came for the last 3 minutes against the Giants when Sewell picked off that interception. I just wanted to see that. And I'm like, stuff like that makes me happy. Like, I don't do it for anything else but to, bring entertainment to other Skins fans. So, yeah. Especially with some of these other channels out there for other teams. I said, I just try to keep it light, but, informative at the same time. I mean, you can look at like a certain Eagles fan who's always tripping over his team. I think you may have saw my video from yesterday.
Yeah,
and
I did see it.
I'll set this decree right now for him. I said, you better thank us. He should be on his big knees thanking us because we got rid of Chip Kelly for him. We had to beat y'all like a drum at y'all's place. And his ignorant butt actually went up to that game and got to see it. So, I think maybe you should shut up when you say you're not impressed by a team. I'm not impressed by Carson Wentz. I'll tell him that. But, I think, if you're dipping and diving and all that stuff, the Pittsburgh game, impressive win. Other than that, not really impressed. Kind of like what Baltimore's schedule was. But
yeah. Agree. Yeah, I wasn't high on Baltimore either. Yeah. All right, so I myself am a big Kirk Cousins guy. I've always believed in Kirk Cousins. I liked him better than RG3 always. Even when RG3 was having that stellar rookie year, I knew it wouldn't last. We are on a 3-game winning streak, and Kirk Cousins has always performed really well against the Eagles. Some of his numbers are total of 1,082 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick, 92 for 140. That's a 65.8% completion and 105.12 rating, averaging 7.73 yards per attempt. Some pretty impressive numbers.
Yeah.
For a quarterback, especially against a single team. And the defense hasn't had much turnovers, with the exception of scheme. Do you think the Redskins extend to a 4-game streak?
I do. I honestly do. Philadelphia, I really, Doug Peterson, I don't think he's the best guy for the job, and I think that's gonna, I think he's gonna start to show his hand a little bit. I liken the situation to with the Eagles. This whole hiring situation was like, you get divorced from your wife, only to get married to her sister 3 years later, and that's what happened. I mean, Doug Peterson was in your house eating your cookies, your milk, and everything, and eating Thanksgiving dinner with you, and then you fire Andy Reid. You might as well kept him for that little bit of turnover. I thought, and I thought that was a great disrespect to Andy Reid, who I'm a Redskins fan, but I have all the world respect for Andy Reid. He made Philadelphia what it is. Philadelphia would not be relevant without Andy Reid. Jim Schwartz and you have to give to him, he's a heck of a defensive coordinator, and I think that's what it has a lot to do with it. Aggression, your attitude, your demeanor, what you bring. It's just like what Wade Phillips kind of brought to Denver last year. And going on with Kirk just has to realize if he doesn't see a play, get rid of it. That's one thing I'm very critical about him is it seems like situational football sometimes kind of slips through the crevices. If he can manage that, if he doesn't spike the ball or double spike it before halftime, I think we're gonna be good. But we just gotta keep on doing what we've been doing. Defense has to get some stops. Offense needs to score when they're forward to, or give Dustin Hopkins a chance to do it, and defense can. Build up and what they did against Baltimore. It's no reason why this team should not extend their winning streak against the Philadelphia Eagles to 4, and also it would be the 4th win in a row for the Skins this season. But it's pretty good. We've had the Eagles' number so far in the last probably year and a half, almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. During the 3-game winning streak, the defense has not allowed a second half touchdown and was able to not only get after the quarterback, but make the Ravens abandon the run. What has been the X factor?
Sonny Jurgensen says it the best. He usually says it in ire when the Redskins do this, but it's turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. A lot of these turnovers have come, they're either been forced errors by the opposite team, or it's just the defense picking up on it. This is what Joe Barry's defense did last year. Although we ranked in the bottom of the pack, opportunity. They make a mistake, you pounce on it. If you're hungry and there's only one hot dog and it's 10 people, you better jump on that hot dog. So that's what I look like. That's what this defense has done. It's taking advantage of turnovers committed by, and I think the secondary. Josh Norman, my goodness, he has legitimately done well against all those receivers. He made adjustments against Terrell Pryor. He held Odell Beckham. I really think that stat line against the Giants was misleading because
absolutely,
it was 100 yards, but he did not affect the scoreboard. And that's what I mean. You can have 100 yards. That's like you look at your fantasy thing. Yeah, that's going to get you 12 points. But those touchdowns are worth 6 points. So you're going to have 12 and 18 is a whole lot different. And, he got in his head. And I always say, if you rent space up here with someone, if you get a lease, you can do anything. It's your water bill. It's your light bill right there up in their house, up in their head. And that's what the secondary has been fairly decent for the most part. Even with Q Dunbar, he's had his mistakes, but he's looked all right. I mean,
it's also only his second year.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and he's a converted wide receiver. There's definitely going to be some growing pains there.
And 2 picks against Eli Manning, a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
I mean, people don't realize that. I was like,
including a one-hander, he held that interception.
It's wild, man. It's just, I mean, I give Joe Barry so much crap. I do. I give him on a weekly basis. I say, I hold this man accountable because this defense is 27th in the NFL. But I also hold him accountable because he's been able to put that product out there where they're bending. Oh my, they're bending. They're bending like an old wooden spoon on last hinge, but they don't break. It's still working. So grandma doesn't need to go out to the store and get it. Joe Barry, the secondary and taking over turnovers, they've done that, and it's this is what's got this team going. It's 3 wins.
And I've also noticed they've been doing a lot better on scoring after getting turnovers.
Exactly.
Versus last year. Last year they couldn't really move the ball after turnovers, like in the Miami game, that big fumble.
Yeah.
And they've been doing a lot better getting scores after that. Yeah. All right, at 3-2, we have the Eagles, Lions, and Bengals coming up in that order. What's the record at the bye, and why would it be as such?
There is no reason why this team should not be at least. Let me do my math here real quick because I'm bad at math. 6-3. Is that right?
One more down.
One more? Yeah.
No, 6-2.
6-2. 6-2. Okay, let's see here. 3 games. I say we go 2-1. I just feel like, because you look at it, we haven't beat either Detroit and Cincinnati. Detroit since 2008 when Joe Barry was a defensive coordinator, and we haven't beat Cincinnati since the Super Bowl season of '91. I mean, that's like I said,
we're due.
We're due for one. We're due for one against Pittsburgh. We'll see how that goes. There's a few Cincinnati Bengals fans around here, and I tell them, I say, so we have to go across the pond to kick y'all across the pond. Is that right? And I think the Philly game, that's winnable. Detroit, we've always struggled in Detroit historically. That might be a loss in. I think the Cincinnati game. I think if we win, Detroit might lose in London, but it's no reason why we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be 1-2 and having a winning 2-1. Excuse me, having a winning record with
at 5-3.
Yeah, and getting ready to face Minnesota in November. Yeah, 5-3. Yeah, 5-3. Oh my gosh, I cannot math well.
What is math?
That's what I'm like, man. You think. My job is to help people out with their small businesses, so but I think we're due. Cincinnati's down on the downslide. Detroit is heads or tails. I mean, their owner, that old lady, she scared. Mrs. Ford scares me. So, and I think we can beat the Eagles. I really do.
Well, she was probably been around since the invention of the
I think so. Yeah, she probably she is the Model T up there. So, but we'll see. And we're playing good quarterbacks too. That's the one thing. Stafford, he'll throw it all across the yard. Andy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also what I like about that Bengals game is that it's on neutral territory. Mm-hmm. It's in London. Anything can happen. I mean, look at that Jags and Colts game from last week or 2 weeks ago. It was just crazy.
And you don't think Jay Gruden wants to come up there and show up his former head coach and his former team? That's added motivation.
He wants to go full on Darth Vader on him.
Yes.
When I left you, I was about to learn it, but now I am the master.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, Obi-Wan. I mean, if Obi-Wan couldn't win in the playoffs, at least he did. Lead the Republic to some wins. I mean, Marvin Lewis hadn't done anything for Cincinnati in the playoffs, so.
Jay Gruden. Yeah. He said in his press conference on Monday that he wants to give Robert Kelly more carries. As Matt Jones has only had really one good game, is there any chance Kelly overtakes Jones for the starting role?
Anything's possible. I honestly believe that. I give Matt Jones a chance It's the same thing I did with the Kirk. It's called the Kirk Cousins rule for me. I give anybody who's in their first season, especially if they're a draft pick or they need opportunity to grow, I give them 8 games. If he's not doing the job after 8 games, and you got to look at it, the Ravens defense was number 5 against the run. Well, that's padded, wherever you want to look at. So,
and number 1 total.
Yeah, number 1 total. I mean, that was a rough game either way. But up until then, I mean, against Pittsburgh, you ran the ball, 12 times total. And then, Jay and Sean McVay and Bill Callahan, they finally decided, if we put the ball in somebody's hand and run it instead of throwing it downfield, maybe we might do something. He started chug-a-lugging against Dallas. Then they forgot how to do the run. Chug-a-lugging against the Giants in the second half. That helped lead to a win. That helped his running on that final drive. If they're not running the ball, we might not win that game. Or put Dustin Hopkins in that position to kick a field goal. Against Cleveland, he did his thing. I mean, granted, it's Cleveland, but still grown men out there, going out there, and they're trying to earn a paycheck. So we can put that for whatever anybody wants for that. And then I think last week, he had struggles against a good defense. He's still learning. He's young. He was a top draft pick last year. Got to give him 8 games. I love Chocolate Factory. I loved him in the preseason. I think he'll get his.
What? I'm sorry. What did you call him?
Oh, I call Rob Kelly R. Kelly Chocolate Factory. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, R. Kelly Chocolate Factory. That's his album. That's what I call Rob Kelly. I've called him that since then. I said, when he scores a touchdown, I'm gonna try to sing like R. Kelly on there. I'm saying, oh my God, it's a touchdown, but
he's coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, back. Oh my God, it's a screen.
Don't fumble that.
Oh gosh. Yeah, but I think Kelly, he'll get an opportunity. It'll probably come in due time. We've seen his carries go up recently, so we'll see. But Jay's capable of anything now, so I don't trust Jay. I just stopped watching his press conference. I just read the transcripts afterwards.
He's hilarious, though. I love Jay's press conferences. He always has at least one joke in there.
I mean, at least you got, you went from like this kind of all shucks guy, and then, we had a jackass and Mike Shanahan for like 4 years, and he was just like cardiovascular endurance problems. I'm going with Rex Grossman and John Beck. I love Robert. Is that okay, Dan? I should say that, right? And then Robert should worry about himself, and let's get him ready for the regular season. So, I mean, it's just, it's one thing that's admire. I know this isn't the question, but one thing I admire about Jay Gruden is he says what's on his mind, and he doesn't back down from that. And that's something that the Redskins have not had since like a Marty Schottenheimer. He doesn't back down from critics, and that's what, whether you like him or not, God, you got to respect the man for that.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Jordan Reed is in the concussion protocol again. This would be the 6th time, I believe, since starting college. As a concern for his own well-being, should he just walk away from the game?
I think when it becomes a consistent issue like that, you have to think about that because there is a world outside of football. God, and I mean, he's the ultimate weapon for the Skins. The human side of me is like, yes, the Redskin fan of me is like, I hate to see him go, but if this is something, I think they actually said he did suffer a concussion. These concussions are serious, man. And I mean, you look at Sue Cravens, who has to permanently wear glasses now. And I joke and say, welcome to the club, but I mean, this is serious. He didn't need to wear them before, but now he has to. And whether that's true or false, whatever the team has said from it, but I have to say, it's some crazy things that happen. You look at these players back in the 80s and 90s who really didn't even do anything about concussions. And now the NFL is taking it so seriously. I mean, I think Jordan, that's something he has to contemplate. He's a young man, and he has a lot of living to do. So that's something I would definitely think about.
D-Jax, Mr. number 11, I see on your calendar back there.
Yeah, this is actually September's calendar right there, so I need to... Who's under there? D'Angelo Hall. Okay. Yep. All right. Well, we'll keep that down. Since he's down, I'll keep that down. But, yeah. So, Action Fraction Jackson.
Action Fraction Jackson.
Yeah.
So he said on Wednesday that he would be open to a return to the Eagles since he will be a free agent. How can he get more targets in the offense to be utilized as not only a deep threat but an all-around receiver?
Stretch out for the damn ball when Kirk Cousins throws it. I can't really do anything like that. You had an opportunity to seal the deal in Baltimore. I just think you got to stretch out on that play. Was it overthrown? Maybe a little bit. I'm not going to apologize for Kirk.
But also, what's the whole thing of you can't overthrow Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah,
he's too fast.
That's what I'm like.
Kirk doesn't have that strong of an arm.
Yeah, that's it. That's
he has a good enough arm to play in the NFL, but he does not have that strong of an arm to the point that he can consistently overthrow Jackson. So either Jackson's not healthy, he's lost a step, or he just doesn't give a damn.
I think all of the above. I think he's trying to get that reality show back on BET for all I know.
I actually like that show.
My thing is, what do these guys do? Like the media, they ask these questions to these guys. Like, if I'm gonna say, like, we're getting ready to play my old team, I'm not gonna run my mouth and say, oh yeah, I'd be open to come back to them. Say, yeah, I liked my time in Philly. Yeah, it was good. But I'll worry about that during the off season. It's all about perspective and perception. That's all. That's what it's about. So you just to me, when you say something like that, that means your heart's not really all in it, whether it is or it isn't. And that's my thing. When I saw that, I'm just like, bruh, really? Like, come on now, give me your all right now.
Right, I agree.
I just don't like that. I hate when the media asks that question. I know why it has to be asked, but I don't like it, and I didn't like his response to that.
In his defense, he did say he wants to finish his career in Washington.
Well, yeah. So I'd love to see him. I think, oh gosh, it's going to be a rough off season because you got to make the decision. Do you want to keep him or do you want to keep PG? Kirk Cousins, it's going to be a lot of decision. I'd love to see him come back, but they do. In his defense, they do have to get that ball open for him. I know Kirk's like overthrowing him and he's drawing pass interference calls, but that's not paying his bills or whatever. So they've got to find a way to get that ball in that man's hand.
I don't know, when homie's getting like $500,000 a week, I'm not going to...
Yeah, right.
You want to spread the love a little bit?
Yeah, there you go.
Put a little love in your heart. Sorry, I'm trying to get some numbers for my next couple questions real quick. Come on, phone. Stupid power receiver. All right, there we go. Okay, beautiful. Okay, there it is. No worries. So yeah, 160. Okay. So next question: do you think the Redskins will repeat as NFC East champions?
Yeah, absolutely. I really I do I believe that. I think it is a this division is tough. It's not the NFC least anymore. Um, yeah, the Giants have proven that they might fulfill that prophecy. I'm not. I think Dallas is suspect. I think they're going to get exposed here against Green Bay this week. Um, Philly, they beat Cleveland. Yeah, I know they destroyed.
Who doesn't beat Cleveland?
Exactly. You know, my mom.
I can go get my dad, who's in a wheelchair, basically, and I can beat Cleveland.
Yeah,
with my
my grandma with arthritis could beat the Cleveland Browns at something. You know, and oh gosh, who did they play after the
after Cleveland?
After Cleveland, yeah.
They played the Bears.
Come on now.
And then
Chad Johnson said the best.
Pittsburgh, but I mean,
child, please.
Pittsburgh. I think that was a trap game.
Yeah,
for Pittsburgh.
I think so. And Detroit exposed them. They put the blueprint together to do it. It's just like with Baltimore we talked about earlier here. These guys, I mean, you want to give them the opportunity to say, hey, they're great, and believe it or not, Jay Gruden has finally beaten 2 teams with winning records in a season. And if you look that up, he's only done that 2 other times. That was in his first season when they beat Dallas on Monday night, and we have
they beat Philly in
and then
December.
They beat Philly in December. And I do have an interesting story about that Dallas game. I'll tell you if we have some time later.
All right,
but
no problem.
Yeah, that's something near and dear to my heart. But yeah, I mean, it's no reason why we should not win the East. If we don't win the NFC East, it's nothing that Dallas won too many games. The Eagles won too many games. Those are just buts. You take care of your house. You put the drapes up. You make the bed and everything. You do a good job. You cut your lawn out every day. It's gonna shine, and that's what you have to do. And that's what the Skins have to do. Don't worry about. Louis T says it's best. I don't give a damn what anybody else is doing. If you focus on what you're doing, have tunnel vision, you'll be good. Everything else will fall into place. Win as many games as the Redskins can win. And at the end of the day, let's just not say but. Or if this had a roll this way. Make sure you make the reason why I'm glad we came out of there. It could have looked like this, but I'm glad it came out that way. But yeah, it's no reason why we shouldn't repeat this. I just don't want the media to get on our backs like, it's the Redskins. The Redskins are looking great again. Y'all didn't talk about us for 3-4 years when we were struggling. The only thing was this team has poor ownership. The coaching staff is inept. I don't want to hear that mouth.
Kirk Cousins isn't a viable quarterback.
Exactly. Kirk Cousins he's like, what happened to Captain? You like that and everything, but I just, yeah.
To be fair, he said that in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
In a very passionate situation, a high stress situation. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't win that game. He's getting benched. His coach is getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
You roll the dice.
And it was just pointed at Tarek El-Bashir from Comcast Sportsnet in Washington. Yeah, so, after he had said something, he looked right at Tarek. Tarek even said it. And he's like, you like that? So, I love the saying. I still use it myself. And after the last 3 wins, I've used it a lot. So, and I always liked it. And I'll have Kirk's back. I'll have his back until he's no longer in the burgundy and gold. But kind of like I forgot who Alfred Morris was until he scored those touchdowns. That touchdown against the last
Dagger,
second half.
Meet back, meet dagger.
That's kind of ironic. The last second half touchdown the Redskins was a former Redskin who did it. So in the second half, so.
Someone we shouldn't have let go, in my opinion.
You preaching to the choir, my friend.
All right. Speaking of free agents, this is coming up to my next question. This question is going to be in many parts, kind of. Either one, just answer yes or no to these.
Okay.
Because there's like 20-something parts. It's very, very quick, just yes or no kind of things. So currently, the way it stands, next year we will have about $60 million in cap space. We're gonna have some cheddar to spend. Because we have $13 million left this year, and then just from what our normal cap space would be next year, we'll have $47 million. That $13 million gets carried over, so then we'll have a total of $60 million in cap space to spend.
When's the last time you heard that?
Not in a very long while.
You haven't heard that in a long time.
And Scotty Mac better just take a whip or something and smack the crap out of Dan Snyder. No, Dan, we're not going after the 36-year-old linebacker that's going to be in the Hall of Fame in 4 years.
That's right.
We're not bringing Ray Lewis out of retirement.
Bruce Smith, no Bruce Smith
no Bruce Smith, no Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
None of that. Deion's still playing? No, Dan, he's not. Anyways, so with that in mind, $60 million. I have a list here of potential free agents. I'm going to name them off. Tell you what their position is, what team they're currently with. You can give me a yes or no answer of whether they can help the team, or you think they'll be yes they can help, or no they'll be a distraction.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Kirk Cousins, quarterback, Washington Redskins.
As of right now, yes.
Johnson, running back, Arizona Cardinals. CJ2K.
No.
Eddie Lacy, running back, Green Bay Packers. You can give me a maybe. That's fine.
No, I can't do it. I was trying to think. I mean, if he got off the Swiss rolls and all that stuff, he might be good. You know, I feel like P90X still didn't work for him, but no, I don't see Eddie leaving Green Bay. So.
Le'Veon Bell, running back, Pittsburgh Steelers. He did play with Kirk in college.
Yeah, I character issues. Smoking dope and stuff. Smoking the weed. That ain't. No, that's
partaking in the devil's lettuce.
Yes, this is true. The ganja, as the old folks used to say. Reefer. That's what they said. That's what they said. Reefer.
Reefer. No one character. So. Jeffrey, wide receiver, Chicago Bears.
You know, that's an interesting one. I like to see how Josh Doxson does, if he's out for the rest of the season or not. I mean, it's another injury-prone receiver. I'll say no, though. I'll think they want to jump at something like that, but I'll say no. And you said Alshon Jeffrey, right?
Right.
Okay.
Josh Gordon, free agent wide receiver currently.
Is he actually even going to be in the NFL anymore? He's in rehab now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in rehab. He's
He
hung out with Johnny 8-Ball too much.
Yeah, yep. No character issue. And I mean, if you want to go buy a car from him, that might work, because that's probably what he's going to be doing again. Is selling cars. They're, selling 8-balls or something. I don't know, but no. Honestly, I don't like to make light of those situations, but I mean, I hope he gets his life together for his sake, and his family's sake, because
to be fair, he's really only just a pothead. He's not.
He's not as bad as Johnny, but whatever you think of those rules, the NFL has their rules, and you have to abide by them, and he's got to get that situation under control.
I actually have a funny story about that.
Okay.
About Johnny Manziel until after we're done here.
Okay.
All right. Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver, Washington Redskins.
If the money's right, if he takes a little less, yes. I think he might command too much, but I'll say yes.
Okay. Pierre Garçon, wide receiver, Washington Redskins.
Maybe. Because like I said, it's a toss-up, and you can actually change D-Jack to maybe also. Because it just depends on who you want there. Do you want glitz and glam, or do you want hard work?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not um, and you know who's hard work and who's glitz and glam. Pierre is the consummate pro. He puts his head down and he goes to work every day. He slowly became one of my favorite Redskins after Santana Moss left.
Oh yeah.
And he says the right thing. He's a leader. He doesn't wear the C because I feel like we get caught up in those titles in those flashy gold patches. But he's a leader in his own respect, and I think those guys do look up to him.
Leads by example.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, and you don't have too many receivers like that. I mean, he learned from some of the best. And with Peyton Manning,
he played with Peyton.
Yeah, and he played with Reggie Wayne. So
Reggie Wayne.
Yeah.
I don't think he was. Marvin Harrison might have still been there when he got there. I can't remember.
It was towards the end of Marvin's time there, but I think he was there.
But he still be able to learn there.
Yeah, and he learned from one of the best coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, in Tony Dungy.
That's right.
I said maybe to both of those guys.
Mm-hmm. And as far as DJ goes, if they're only going to keep him because of a deep threat, my argument is Rashad Ross. You can keep him as a cheaper option, and Rashad Ross probably works harder than Djax.
His biggest enemy, I think, in that core right now is Jamison Crowder.
Rashad Ross's or
it's Deshaun Jackson's. Although I'd like to keep him inside, I don't think he would be as good outside. But I think that's his biggest threat to keep a roster spot, because if Crowder's doing what he's doing, he's become a Swiss Army knife for this team. So
if Crowder was 8 inches taller, he probably would have been the first round pick.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Jared Cook, tight end from the Packers.
Depends on what goes on with Jordan Reed. I think he's kind of the age where it'd be kind of shifty. I'll say no. Yeah, I'll say no to that.
What about re-signing Vernon Davis?
I'm not opposed to that. He's looked good in flashes. He kind of looked like the old Vernon Davis in San Francisco, not this Vernon Davis, that went off the map in Denver and just sat on the sideline and basically earned a Super Bowl ring. I mean, he was out there, but he was like a shell of his former self. But he's back home. I think that's a plus. He's watching the team that he grew up. He's playing for the team that he watched when he was growing up. So I'd say yeah. And he fills in really well. He compliments Reed, whatever his situation is. I think they complement each other really well.
This weekend's going to sell because I bet Reed's going to be out for this weekend, and then Vernon Davis is going to get the start. So
yeah, and that's what. And Philadelphia is in for a surprise with Vernon. I really do believe that.
But this, I thought they were going to keep 4 tight ends on the roster of having and keeping Logan Paulson just from the experience and everything. Yeah. But they ended up not doing that, and that's going to kind of bite them this weekend, I think. But they'll probably put in. They've been putting Ty and Seki as a tackle eligible.
There you go. So that might work.
Please let Ty get a touchdown pass this weekend. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
He can get Darrell Young back too. I mean, he did all that. He's full back. He could have played a tight end the way he chug-a-lug down.
I thought they should have converted him to tight end personally.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I didn't see Logan's thing was his best quality was blocking. He was good at catching sometimes, but he didn't really have his speed about him. So I mean, you can find any guy to do that, but you have multi-threats with Vernon Davis, Jordan Reed, and Niles Paul. Any one of those guys could start on an NFL team. I honestly believe
absolutely.
It. So and I think that's what kept him. And Niles Paul, he does everything. And that's why he's a captain, because he's a special teamer. He can play wide receiver, tight end. He can be your kick returner if you need him. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. Evan Mathis, guard from Arizona Cardinals.
Too old. No, absolutely not.
TJ Lang, guard from Green Bay Packers.
I think they'll protect their investment in Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he'll leave Green Bay.
Calais Campbell, 3-4 defensive end, Arizona Cardinals.
God, would that be nice to get him on that line? Oh my goodness! You know what? I'm going to embrace the little child in me and just be like, because they should have drafted him in 2008 instead of drafting those wide receivers. Because he was on. They actually had him on the mock drafts in 2008. They had him and Philip Merlin possibly going in the first round to the Redskins before they traded out. And came up with Devin Thomas and Malcolm Kelly and Fred Day. God. Oh, man, that just made me sick to my stomach just thinking about that draft. I'm going to say yes, embrace the little child in me. Would he want to leave the desert is the one thing. But, I mean, if we can give him right money, put him in there with Seabake, give Seabake the money that he wants. I think he'll probably be on this free agent list also. And I think you got some consistency there. At bookends.
Chris Baker.
Yeah, yes. Heck yes. Heck yes.
Jason Pierre-Paul, 4-3 defensive end from New York Giants.
Yes, if he doesn't blow off his other piece of his other hand, he might be good too. I think this is. I know he doesn't fit the scheme, so he's a 4-3 guy. I don't think, because if anything, you're going to convert him to linebacker and in that offense, in that defense. So I don't really think so. You know, I think it would be inappropriate to play Firework by Katy Perry though. If he ever if he ever comes in, it's like, baby, you're a firework. So.
Right. I'm sure the Giants do anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
It's probably on like that pre-stadium mix list that always has
like
Firework. It has Thunder by AC/DC, and like Dream On by Aerosmith.
Oh my gosh,
that's the same stadium list you hear every single.
He brings a new meaning to the phrase tearing them to bits and pieces. So yeah, but he hasn't lost a step though. So I think
brings whole new meaning to if the glove don't fit.
Yes. He's the OJ guy.
All right, Don Terry Poe, defensive tackle from Kansas City Chiefs.
He'd be a good fit. We need a nose tackle. I know a lot of people want Pot Roast back. I just don't.
Give Pot Roast another chance, personally.
Yeah, I think so. I think they will. No, I think Kansas City will find a way to keep him. That defensive line is stout, and they that front seven in Kansas City is really good. Now I think you take Poe away from there, they'll pay that man or they'll franchise him.
All right, Chandler Jones, 3-4 outside linebacker, Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, the way that man owned us in New England when we went up there. And I mean, he was coming off the left side against Trent, wasn't he? If I'm not mistaken. And
that might have been. He was.
He kind of and he came in there. See. The only thing is with that, where do you put Kerrigan at? You just paid him all this money, and what about Preston Smith?
Preston Smith needs to rush from the middle. That's where he's going to be the best, in my opinion. You put Trent Murphy back to defensive end where he was trying to be converted to, or keep him at linebacker because he's been doing well this season as depth. And then you keep Kerrigan, put Kerrigan on the strong side, see how he does. Or put Chandler Jones on the strong side. That's where he's been really exceptional.
More chess pieces. That's what
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is a good problem to have, and I doubt they're going to re-sign Junior Gillette again. So I'd put an inquiry on Chandler Jones. So maybe I'll put a maybe on him, just for the heck of it.
All right, just a few more here.
Okay.
Nick Perry, 3-4 outside linebacker from Green Bay Packers.
Didn't he get in Trent Williams' face, or was that Daniels who got in his face in the playoff game?
That was Perry.
That was Perry, yeah. Um, huh. I think he would be I think he would be the type of free agent the Skins would look for, kind of a low end, um, average to above average player, kind of what Scott McCloughan's been looking for. I would say, yeah, let's say yeah to that, because he's not a household name, but he kind of fits the build. I think so. I think he'll fit that build in Washington. And we can just grab him away.
All right. Jimmy Collins, 4-3 outside linebacker, New England Patriots. Belichick's always finding players, so it's not out of the realm of possibility they let him go.
It's not, but I think Bill will.
Palpatine himself will just be like,
he might franchise him. They might franchise him. I think that.
Well, depends. Have they paid Edelman yet?
Yeah, that's true. I don't think they have. Did they pay Edelman? I thought they.
I don't think they've paid Edelman yet.
I don't know. I'd have to check that up. I'd have to check that. I thought they may have gave him a little bit of an extension.
I know they paid Gronk. And plus they have to pay Malcolm Butler too.
Holy goodness sakes! He'll be gone out of New England then, but I wouldn't think he'd come to Washington.
He might if we're on the rise.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll say maybe. I'll say maybe to that, because we can use all the defensive help we can use. We can use. I mean, we could use defensive help like Hillary Clinton could use help finding emails, or like Donald Trump could find a mute button. So I mean, that's what we need defensive help for. Oh my gosh, it's awful, man, and you know it. You've seen this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like to get political. That's why I said I used to. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna show my hand on that.
It's all good, man.
Yeah.
All right, final player on this list, Eric Berry, safety from Kansas City Chiefs. He's on his franchise tag right now this year.
They'll find a way to pay him.
Just got back from beating cancer and everything. So, but they didn't want to give him a long-term deal.
They'll get weaseled into it. I think that they know what they have with Eric Berry. I think he'll re-sign in Kansas. They'll give him the money he wants. A lot of with these teams it's a power play, and to maybe weasel them out of some money. But I think at the end of the day, they're gonna call it an agreement, and he'll get there, and they'll get their heart and soul, their defense back.
Okay. Of the current 0 or 1 win teams, which coach is on the hot seat? Let's start with the Browns. Hugh Jackson. This is his first year with the team.
No, I don't think so. They know that this is a rebuilding process. I think Jimmy Haslam would be a fool to fire him. Even if they were 0-16, which I don't think that's going to happen, he'd be a fool to fire Hugh Jackson his first year.
Okay. Jets, Todd Bowles.
I think...
Missed the playoffs last year on the last game of the season.
Lost against Rex Ryan, too. Got swept by Rex Ryan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a little... It'll get warm for him, but I think they'll figure it out. I think really you got to give Fitzpatrick a little bit of time since he was out. Granted, whether that's his fault or the Jets' fault, I don't really care. But I'll say it's getting a little warm, especially with that media. The New York media, they are like vultures. So I would say it's getting a little hot there.
Dolphins, Adam Gase, also his first year with the team.
I don't think Adam Boyd. I think he'll be okay. I don't think he'll have any problems. He's young. He's fresh, and they're going to give him an opportunity to do it. He's like the city of Miami. He's young, fresh, and ready to go at it. So.
Okay. Jaguars, Gus Bradley.
Oh God, he's burning up. He's burning up. Gus is on fire. They do not win, he's gone. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have no more excuses. It's year 4 of his program, and all they have is, oh, we're going to get better. Oh, yeah, we have a couple of NFL films where we're getting really excited because we beat somebody for the first time in like 5 tries. He's got to be on fire by now. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Let me throw this as a replacement for him. Kyle Shanahan.
No.
You don't think Kyle will do?
I don't. See, I don't.
Those numbers they are putting up in Atlanta, you don't think he's going to be?
He's going to get a call for it. But I think another coach who's on the hot seat might be Kyle. Could be his replacement.
Okay, let's see if I guess that coach. I have a few more here.
All right then.
Taylor Chargers, Mike McCoy.
He's on fire. Because they don't win, they're going out of San Diego, and they're gonna get that package to leave San Diego. If they don't win, and they're actually playing right now, so I think his seat is very hot in San Diego. Very hot.
Okay, New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton.
They just re-signed him. The defense is terrible. Dennis Allen is an awful defensive coordinator. He can't save it. No wonder why that man's single and divorced. I think Sean Payton. He can't get married to a defensive coordinator to save his life. Rob Ryan, who the Redskins had a hand in firing twice, no doubt, against the Saints and then against Dallas too. So I think it's a little warm in Louisiana for him in New Orleans. I think they'll find a way to put it together in that awful division, though.
Okay. It's a little warm, but not on fire.
Not on fire. No, not yet. That city loves him, and that's what will keep him there for a little bit.
Ron Rivera, Carolina Panthers. And the reason I'm putting Ron Rivera on this list is because the season after the Vikings went to the NFC Championship against the Saints, the next season, Brad Childress was gone in the middle of the season.
I don't think Jerry Richardson is as hot-headed as Ziggy Wolf. So I don't think that's a concern necessarily. If anything, he should fire his general manager for letting Josh Norman walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And Ron coaches the players. He coaches what he's been given. It's up to the general manager to get the right players, and they prove right there that these corners are awful, and it makes me question why I drafted the Panthers defense in my fantasy league. But I say thank you very much for screwing that up, Carolina. I don't think it's going to be warm too warm for him in Charlotte. That city likes him, and I think there's always a Super Bowl runner-up hangover. And whether it was Seattle kind of struggled last year, so they had their little hangover. Denver struggled the year before that when they lost. After they lost, and they got knocked out of the first round against Indianapolis. So these teams they do have like a Super Bowl hangover type deal if you're losing it, because it takes a lot out of you. And I mean, people said, yeah, this Panthers team looks like it could have been better than last year without winning that same amount of games. I think that's asinine. And right now, I think they're going to be they're kind of biting their fingernails there. But I think his is cool, lukewarm at best, at the hottest, and he's not going nowhere unless they just like completely turn a 360 and go 1-15, which that won't happen.
All right. Chicago Bears, John Fox.
John Fox, man, good grief. He's like Marvin Lewis almost. How can somebody that okay keep on getting jobs? With the talent that he was dealt in Denver, couldn't win the Super Bowl. He should be hot. I think he should be hot. I think John Fox doesn't have long to fix this team. Well, and he has a terrible quarterback in Jay Cutler, who's not even playing. Brian Hoyer is not good. They've got some pieces on there. They've got great wide receivers, great big, tall wide receivers, and probably as big as the Sears Tower out there. But I think his is getting warm too. I think his is really warm, to be honest with you, especially after you let Adam Gase go. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes with them.
Last coach on this list, Chip Kelly, San Francisco 49ers, first year with the team.
He's a West Coast guy. I don't know if you watch Colin Cowherd, but he makes the transition that, he's more West Coast guy. His personality wasn't East Coast like, whatever the heck that means. The man coached at New Hampshire. I don't know if you can get any any more East Coast than that. But I think they've got to make this work. Trent Baalke's got to make this work, or he might be out of a job in San Francisco as their general manager. And the York little boy York, he's not really patient either. You should know that more than I do.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely have a lot of friends who are 49er fans, and then one of them just says, "I swear York won that game in a poker game."
Yeah,
he won that. He won that team in a poker game or something. They
need to get Eddie Barlow back, but
right.
Yeah. But I'd say Chip's okay for right now, and I think they're going to make the switch to Kaepernick here pretty soon because.
They've already announced he's starting.
Yeah, they have. They sure did. But my thing is, if I'm calling Kaepernick, I'd be insulted. The fact that Blaine Gabbert started 5 games ahead of me, and he was so ineffective in Jacksonville, that makes me upset. I mean, I won a division title and took y'all to the Super Bowl. So, what does that say about you? What does that say about me? And I think he's got to take that. He's got to run with it. Don't kneel, run, play, just go. Don't, let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Who has the best chance to win the Super Bowl?
Funny story here. Since 2006, the NFC East has played a representative in the Super Bowl. Up until a couple years ago, the winner of the Super Bowl played a full slate of NFC East games. So I'm going to say right now, I'm just going to go out on a limb. I say Pittsburgh will be in the Super Bowl. And on the NFC side, I don't really know right now. I think Minnesota they're good, but I don't think they're as good as. I don't think that defense will hold up when it gets colder, and they have to travel to Green Bay. They come to Washington in November, and they have to go to Chicago. I don't know how that defense will hold up. And Sam Bradford, it's still Sam Bradford at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just don't know.
Do you think it's a rematch of Super Bowl 45, Pittsburgh versus Green Bay?
I don't think so, no. But I think Pittsburgh will. I think. Yeah, look. I don't know who in the NFC would do it. You know what I'll say? This is who I'll say I'll go with Green Bay right now. I think it'll be a rematch. I think it would be right now. If the table, if I were a betting man, I'd go with those two teams. But anything can happen though. And the NFC is famous for putting out crapshoot teams. For all we know, Seattle might be able to come back on the rise and win.
You never know.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. I say if you can't do anything, I said this last week because it's not relevant now. I say, if you ever tell yourself you cannot do anything in life, or your child, or your brother, whatever, friend, says they can't do anything, you say, look at them and say, hey, man, hey, girl, look at it this way. The Los Angeles Rams are 3-1. If they can do that, anything's possible in life. So,
very true. Well, that was my line.
Okay.
But so, of those two teams, which one wins it?
I think Pittsburgh gets it back. I might be a little biased because my girlfriend's a Pittsburgh fan, but I honestly, I go with that trend. That, you know, from, if you go back and look at it, we've our division may have been the NFC least, but we've always had a hand in the Super Bowl. All four of those teams have had a hand in the Super Bowl, whatever way you want to look at it. And
funny thing is, for the longest time, we had played and beaten the winner of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, up until
for the
Seattle.
Longest time, up until the 23rd. Yeah, when Seattle
14,
won.
Yeah, until 14. After they came back, and I did have a story for you on that season. I was going to tell you about that Dallas game. I thought about it. I get emotional when I actually think about it. Back in 2014, I went back home for a little bit to help take care of my ailing grandfather. And like I said, he's a big Redskins fan. And I kind of worked from home, and I did, and I helped take care of him along with the rest of my family. And we would work with him, and I'll never forget it. It was a Monday night. I would work till midnight on Monday. I said, how in the world am I going to watch this game? And I'll be working on the side too and everything. And albeit, I woke up that Monday morning, he had passed away.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and I mean, and it was just like, wow. I said, well, I guess he wanted me to see this game. I always said to myself, and I told my mom. I looked at her. I said, you know what? I said, I don't know how, I don't know why, but we're gonna win this game. And she said, you think so? I said, yeah. I said, trust me. And who we were starting at quarterback, who we were getting ready to play in Dallas Cowboys, they looked elite. No earthly reason why we should have won that game. And I tell them that I said somebody was watching out for us. I said, in the atmosphere, wherever you want to believe, I said, I think my granddad was looking out for him, and they got a call for him. But and that's why, and that makes that rivalry even bigger for me now, getting older, is just to think about that. And on October 27th, 2014, the Skins actually pulled one out in Dallas and kind of won for them. So, yeah. But
That's great, man.
Yeah, that's my cool story. Yeah.
I kind of have a funny story about. I had a theory going back to the 2014 draft. About the Browns. And because I'm in Fresno, California, I had the esteemed pleasure of getting to watch Derek Carr play his entire collegiate career.
Wow.
So, I went to games all the time. I actually got to see his very first college pass live. A friend of mine told me last minute, hey, I got tickets to the game tonight. Do you want to go? Yeah, let's go. So we went, and he wasn't even the starter. He was the third string quarterback at the time.
Oh, wow.
And Fresno State was playing, I want to say it was like San Diego State or something like that. I think it was San Diego State that day. And we killed him. The score was like 70 to 0. It was ridiculous. And at the beginning of the second half, because at the beginning of the second quarter, they pulled their starting quarterback, put in their second string quarterback.
Oh my god!
And because they had Ryan Matthews at the time, so that's.
Oh, okay. Wow.
They were running on them. They were passing on them. It was just intense. And so the very, very beginning of the second half, when they got the ball back, lo and behold, Derek Carr goes in. You got to see his first action. Got to see his first touchdown pass. It was great. And I knew then that kid's going to be a star. Yeah. That kid's going to be good. He's going to be the anti-David. which David didn't get a fair shake anyways.
He got sacked too much. Yeah, they didn't invest in that offensive line, and he didn't have an opportunity to grow or get better. And at least he won a Super Bowl, though. He was able to do that behind Eli.
He has a Super Bowl ring. Yep. That's right. And in the 2014 draft, even though the Browns moved all around the board, trying to be like draft day and everything, they're moving all up and down, everything. They should have stuck at number 4, took in Sammy Watkins, or they could have taken Odell in that draft at that point. Let's say they had taken Odell. Then they also had the number 22 overall pick. They could have kept there instead of taking Johnny Manziel. Could have taken Derek Carr. And then with their first pick in the second round, took Devontae Adams, also from Fresno State, who went to the Packers in the second round.
Yep, that's right. Sure did.
And still with the Packers today. And that way, that receiving core would have been Josh Gordon, Odell Beckham Jr., Devontae Adams in the slot, Jordan Cameron at tight end, and then you would have had Derek Carr as the quarterback. And then Kyle Shanahan as the offensive coordinator.
You know what? They passed up an even bigger talent, though, back in 2009. Who did the Atlanta Falcons jump up into the top 10 to draft Julio Jones?
Oh, in 2011.
Yeah, 2011. Sorry, 2011. Yep, that's what they did. They jumped up there and snagged Julio Jones.
That's right.
That's
that's proven a good trade on Atlanta's part.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we had said about the hot seat. You mentioned Kyle Shanahan. I think he would do better in. Where were you thinking?
I was thinking Jacksonville.
I was thinking. No, who did you think? I was thinking. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were thinking Chicago.
San Diego.
San Diego. Okay.
I think San Diego would be great for him there. I just think that, or wherever he's going to L.A. or whatever, I think a young coach going there, I think he would do good. With Phillip Rivers, he's got a quarterback. I think Phillip's got at least 3 or 4 more years in him. And he actually has, because he started collecting legitimate quarterbacks now. Matt Ryan, he's kind of helped resurrect Matt Ryan's career. I think he would do wonders for Phillip Rivers, or even better. So, yeah, I think he would do good in San Diego.
I think Rivers is too much on the older side.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he's on the decline in his career. His arm's not going to last forever. He still put up like monster numbers, but that's because they're forcing him to, because they're always getting behind in games.
Drew Brees.
Because their defense is terrible.
Yeah.
That San Diego defense is terrible. They would need a defensive mind coach, in my opinion.
San Diego, they just keep on shooting themselves in the foot in the fourth quarter. They can do great for, like I watched the San Diego and Oakland game, and these guys were, they were doing good. I said, they're about to tie this game up. And bobbled the snap. And Oakland jumped on it. I'm like, somebody hates San Diego. I don't know. I really don't know what is going on there. Yeah, but I said, we talked about 0 and 1 teams being, some of these coaches being on a hot seat. I think some of these 2-win coaches are on hot seats too. I think Rex is. I think Rex is still on the hot seat, even though they've won a couple games. I still think he's on the hot seat because they don't go to the playoffs. He's going to get fired. I think
I don't think so. They beat New England at home. They shut them out at home.
Without Brady, though. Without Brady.
Yeah, you're gonna put that asterisk on that game.
It's a win is a win. A win is a win. I'm not gonna put, but.
Are you gonna put that Barry Bonds asterisk on that game?
Yeah, I am. I am going to do that. I just. I hate to do it, but they did it without Brady. David with a damaged quarterback core. Jacoby Brissett was hurt, and
Jimmy
G was hurt as well. So I just think that when they come to Buffalo, Tom Brady's gonna beat the brakes off of them, and
probably.
Yeah. I honestly think, I just lost them. Who else I was thinking? was a 2-win coach. Macca don't. In New York.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Even though this is his first year?
I think so. Ben McAdoo looks like somebody's shop teacher. They got, because it's all the same in New York. Nothing has changed besides the head coach. Spagnuolo's defense is still terrible. McAdoo, everything's the same there. Just Tom Coughlin's not there anymore. And it's the same thing. They did the same thing to Tom Coughlin. What Tampa Bay did to Lovie Smith. And whether you didn't like Lovie Smith, you still had to give the man respect. Man had almost 100 wins as a coach in the NFL, took a team to the Super Bowl, but you're afraid to lose them. How did that work out with Raheem Moore when you fired John Gruden? It didn't work out too well. It did not work out too well for you. So, I don't know. I think sometimes common sense doesn't prevail there in Tampa Bay, but what do I know? I'm just a fan. I just sit here and watch this stuff and observe it and eat it up. So,
right?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you too.
Definitely appreciate this. I'm gonna get this typed up here and in article form. We'll publish that sometime tonight.
Okay.
And I will. Do you have on Facebook or something or a Twitter account I can send this to you?
At Sanchez405 on Twitter, Instagram. I put a whole bunch of like random stuff on.
How do you spell that?
SANCHIZE 405.
405 on Twitter. Okay.
Twitter, Instagram, it's the same thing. It'll be a whole bunch of random stuff, but YouTube is where you can find me at for the most part. So.
Okay.
All right. Hey man, I appreciate it. Thanks for doing this, and it was great, pleasure talking to you.
You as well. Thanks. I'm glad we were able to do this. Hopefully we can do something during the bye week or something.
Absolutely.